basically the plant which is taken, now we have to preserve it. So if something has to be preserved, we have to make sure that it is dried completely, so that other fungal microbial contamination should not take place and the specimen gets damaged. Okay, so a plant specimen is collected, it is dried properly, it is pressed properly so that it gets stuck to the herbarium sheet, and it is covered with a plastic paper with all the detailed information inside it. So basically, herbarium is the storehouse with different plant specimens on herbarium sheet. Even you can try it at your home. You can take a small plant species or a small leaf also. You can dry it properly. Dry, when I say, not the, you don't have to completely dry it to the brownish form. You have to make sure that the all water content has been taken out. Then you can dry it between the newspapers. Okay, then you can make a herbarium sheet, a simple A4 size sheet, but that would not become a herbarium sheet, but at least you can try and understand the experience that how a herbarium sheet would be formed. Like in actual herbarium, there are big machines that actually does the work of pressing. Okay, so that was herbarium. Now, botanical gardens. Botanical gardens are places where actual living plant specimens are there. Okay, here we are actually in herbarium, we are plucking the plant specimen, then we are preserving it. Okay, but in botanical garden, we have collection of living plant specimens. Okay, where we can study that how it is grown, on what kind of soil it is grown, how it looks like when it is in the actual living fresh form, what would be its smaller form would look like. Okay, plantlets. So those places which has the collection of various living plant specimen is known as botanical gardens. Even there we have a board where all the information regarding the plant would be there. That what is the plant name, what is the species name, which family it belongs to, even certain facts, certain medicinal facts regarding the plants are also written there. So are you understanding? We are even providing information and education of different specimens via these places. Okay, so in the presentation I will be showing you various locations, various examples of botanical gardens as well. Okay, so what's the difference between herbarium? They are preserved plant specimen, and these are living plant specimen in botanical garden. Okay, now in museum, biological museums are basically a part of educational institution where the animals and the plants which are there, they are preserved. Okay, either in liquid condition, like they are the animals and all which are there, they are preserved in preservative liquids, so that like you have the organism inside a bottle which has the preservative solution, so that at least you will have the idea that this is how its natural skin looks like. Like after a long time, the preservative solution will start degrading the skin and the body of that animal, but still you will understand, you'll observe that how exactly that specimen or the animal would look like in the living condition. Okay, and even museums have dried specimens as well. Okay, dry specimens. Like insect, there is an thing called as insect board, where insects are collected and pinned down on the particular board. Like this is, okay, this is an insect, just imagine this is an insect. So in this board, the insects are collected and they are pinned on the board. So you will actually get to observe that, oh, this is the actual insect would look like. Not in the living condition, but at least all the 3D parts you can see via this insect board. So museum is a place where such collections are present. Okay. Even even in your colleges, schools will also have specimens in your labs. Uh, if you must have observed, your laboratory assistant will pick certain plant specimens and show you in a particular bottle. Those are the preserved specimens. Okay. Then zoological parks. This is where animals are actually taken care of in protected environments. Okay. In protected environments, so that like we are actually taking care of the animals in living condition, like they are living animals but in a protected environment where we are taking care of them, and at the same time we are studying those animals. With the help of this zoological parks, we'll be able to study the actual behavior, their food habits, and all in while they are in the living condition. Again, if you compare, herbarium was again preserved species, botanical gardens were living plant specimen. Here, museum, animals, specimen, preserved specimens, and even plant specimens are also seen. Zoological parks, we are actually learning the animals in the living condition. Okay. So of course, in our childhood, when we were children, we must have visited at least once a zoo, and we have seen how animals, we observe the animals, what they do, what type of food they are eating. Somewhere we are getting educated that this particular animal or organism behaves like this, or this is the characteristics of a particular animal. Yeah. So one of the important taxonomical aid is key. What is key? Okay, like it is a taxonomical aid that is used to identify an organism. Like if it is kind of a guide to an identifier, to a person who is in search of new organisms. If he or she gets an organism, he or she is not aware of it, like which plant it is or which organism it is, what I'll do, I'll go through this key and will, like it's like a guide, and I'll eventually end up finding the name of that particular organism. I'll take an example and help you out, like what exactly do a key mean. Okay, key is basically it consists of two contradictory statements. It would consist of two contradictory statements, which is known as couplets. Couplets, if I say, it is single pair of contradictory statement. Contradictory statements. Okay. So, as an identifier, what I'll do, I'll have to select any one of the statement. Okay. And each statement is called as lead. Each statement of this couplet is known as lead, where we will be accepting one statement and rejecting another statement. Okay. Then one by one, we will be comparing all different types of couplets, and eventually we will get the identification of that particular organism. Yeah. So lead, and then either one of the statement will accept and reject. We'll see how it is done. For example, okay, this is first couplet. I am taking an example of seed shape. Seed round, or this seed is oblong. Okay. Now I have the seed with me. Now I have to check. Is the seed round? Okay, no. So it is, the seed is oblong, or it could be the other way around. Acha, the seed is round. Okay, I'll select this. I'll reject the other statement. Okay. Now sometimes some couplets directly give you the, like if the seeds are round, seeds are round, many questionnaires must have been there before, okay, but if seeds are round and they would let's take an example, xyz organism is sorry, plant is there, okay, but some couplets, if we must have selected seeds oblong, so they will say go to couplet 2. Like this particular question is not enough. If seeds are oblong, you need to answer different couplets as well. So if there are statement like is go to 2, so the second couplet, I'll have to compare the second couplet as well. So the statements would be the color of the seeds. Okay, I'm just taking random example. So seeds are white or the seeds are red. So now I have to see, okay, one I have got seeds oblong. Now I have to see the color of the seeds. Okay, I'll see it is white and I have rejected this statement. So now they will give the information that this is ABC plant. So maybe even sometimes even this is not enough to give the identification of organism. They may say go to couplet 3. Select that, compare that. Then you can identify the organism. Sometimes in the second couplet itself, you get the identification of the organism. So this is how a key looks like. So key is basically a guide to easily identify and quickly identify an unknown organism. So it consists of couplets. What are couplets? It is a single pair of contradictory statement. Sometimes it could be like years present or years absent. Okay, sometimes they may ask if present large or small. It can go on. Okay, so contradictory statement where it lead, where as an identifier you have to accept one, like you're selecting, okay, my unknown organism has this, does not have this. Okay, then you accept one, reject one, and each of the statement is known as lead, and eventually you will get the identification of the organism. So this is one of the major taxonomical aid. Okay, then there are many other taxonomical aids like flora, then manuals, monographs. Okay, flora they would have, like flora and fauna, when we say flora is for plant species. Flora, it would have all the information, identification regarding all the plant specimens. Okay, so again, it like keys, even keys are used in these things. Okay, they would be giving information that if this the flower is of this color, okay, or if the petals are of this shape, or if the petals are of this number, color, shape, then the flower is this XYZ flower. I'm just taking an example of sunflower. Okay, plant specimens. So flora is basically information of different plant specimens, species, where you can, okay, I would rather use the words plant species, okay, so that you can identify. Even manuals is also same, having information of different organisms. And monographs basically consist information of only one taxon, any one taxon.